a tweet is put out, and the tweet states, Aaron Rodgers to the Jets is essentially a done deal. The two sides have worked out the details. Now, hold up. Now, they're just waiting on one thing, for Aaron Rodgers to decide. Aaron Rodgers' decision-making seems to take a long time, so if he wants to be a Jet, it will be up to him. But before we get there, Mark Murphy has some things to say yesterday on if they would honor his request for a trade.
Is there a scenario where Aaron is still the starting quarterback of the Packers next season?
Yeah. I mean, if things don't work out the way we would want them, yeah. He's obviously a great player and, four-time MVP. But, I think it's, trying to find, what he wants and what we want. And hopefully we can find a win-win situation.
If he requests a trade, will you honor it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we would. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, as the youngsters would say, would you welcome him back? Yeah. That's cap. Man, they don't want Aaron Rodgers back. They want to move on to Jordan Love. They're fed up with Aaron Rodgers. That's negotiating tactics. Aaron Rodgers is as good as gone. The question is, when will he make this decision? And if I'm the Jets, I'm not giving up a first-round pick for a guy that has said, I'm going to retire this year, I'm going to retire last year, I'm retiring next year. I'm not giving up a first-round pick. It has to be some conditions tied to this on performance, games played, something of that nature. Your thoughts?
Man, Aaron Rodgers got me over here looking like a fool because I've been saying the whole time I thought he was going to the Las Vegas Raiders to be reunited with Devontae Adams.
I told you.
To the Jets.
I told you.
Listen, let me tell you this, though. Aaron Rodgers is not coming to the Jets to compete for a world championship. He's coming because he's an attention junkie, and he wants to be the topic of discussion every single day in football season in the Big Apple, the media capital of the world, and just be talked about day in and day out. Because if you're looking at this roster, you Garrett Wilson, Corey Davis, and Elijah Moore as your wide receivers, there's no way that you can compare those guys to Devontae Adams, Darren Waller, and Hunter Renfrow. First and foremost,
they're better than what he had in Green Bay?
They are better than what he had in Green Bay. Because you can't tell me that joining the New York Jets is going to give him a better opportunity and a better chance to win a division, to get to the playoffs, and contend for a world championship.
I would say so.
The New York Jets are not a better option for him if he wants to contend for a world championship. That's just
so you think
of the whole matter. And going back to Mark Murphy and the Green Bay Packers, I do believe him. I believe that if Aaron Rodgers wants to remain in Green Bay, they will let him stay there, even if they got to pay him $59 million for a year, because I don't believe that Matt LaFleur is that good of a head coach anyway. And if Aaron Rodgers
coming out with shots fired.
Listen, if Aaron Rodgers does decide to leave, we are going to see just how good of a head coach Matt LaFleur is. And it's time for the Jordan Love train to start taking off from the station. But just going forward for the Green Bay Packers, if Aaron Rodgers wants to come back, they're going to sign him, and he's going to play because Matt LaFleur doesn't want to look like a fool, and Justin and Jordan Love, it's time for him to play. But Aaron Rodgers still has the keys to that machine up there in Green Bay if he wants to have it.
I believe the coaching and the playing goes hand in hand. Is Aaron Rodgers one of the best? Obviously he is. But I'm not just going to give him all the credit and say he carried LaFleur.
Really?
I can't do that because if they don't win, then do you point all the blame to LaFleur, or does Aaron Rodgers take all the blame? Since he's doing all the carrying, then can he do all the carrying when things don't work out? So when they don't
get all the blame.
So when they didn't make the playoffs this year, was that on LaFleur or Aaron Rodgers?
It was on everybody.
Oh, but when they win, Aaron Rodgers is carrying a team. We can't have it both ways. See, we can't have that both ways. Now, I'm a firm believer in the players got to play. I don't care what kind of game plan you put together. It can be the best game plan in the world. If we don't execute, it's not the best game plan. Now, Aaron Rodgers, which we discussed this weeks ago, I felt like the Jets was the best situation because you go to the Raiders, you got to go through Patrick Mahomes. That's no easy task. You got to go through Justin Herbert. That's also not an easy task. And now you have Sean Payton in Denver. Sean Payton is a winner. That's what he does. He's going to win. And so you go to the New York Jets, you're competing with the Dolphins, McDaniels and Tua, the Patriots, Belichick and Mac Jones, the Bills, McDermott and Josh Allen. With the turnover they had, Leslie Frazier steps down. They can't seem to get over the hump. I believe if Aaron Rodgers goes to the Jets, it puts them right there. So you're talking next year in the AFC. We're going to talk Kansas City Chiefs, Cincinnati Bengals, Buffalo Bills, New York Jets. That in that order to me. Now, we could probably throw Jacksonville in the mix because I believe Calvin Ridley will mean that much to the team. You depending on what happens with Russell Wilson and Sean Payton and Denver Broncos, Herbert and the Chargers, so many really good teams. What happens with Lamar in Baltimore, Deshaun Watson and Cleveland? There's so many really good teams in the AFC you just don't know. But I believe that puts them right in the mix. We just got to wait on Aaron Rodgers to decide.
Is he out of his black hole yet?
Hey, these dudes nowadays, man, like, they do some different stuff, bro. You got to go isolate yourself for 2 days. Like, in
a dark room?
Yeah, I don't know where this comes from. But, man, the things these dudes are on now, it's like, hey, but Aaron Rodgers is out here in Southern California right now. Let me look outside. It's still raining, doing something for charity. So I applaud him, pat on the back. He's out here doing some charity work for these kids out here. So not many know that because I'm sure he doesn't publicize a ton of it. But I know because I was invited. But, yeah.
Listen, a lot of these things where Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets doesn't make sense. Robert Saleh, this is going to be a second year as head coach. You draft Zach Wilson with the number 2 pick, and you wanted him to come basically be the franchise quarterback. So if you do bring Aaron Rodgers into the New York Jets, what do you do with Zach Wilson?
You know what he do? The same thing you and I do when we watch the game. Sit down, watch, take notes.
The number 2 pick in the draft? And you basically put your head in the guillotine with this young man and brought him into this organization hoping that he was going to be, I don't know what they expect.
Speaking of the word hoping, you hope he learns from a guy that he idolized growing up. That's what you hope, that he can take some things away from somebody he idolized growing up and be a better player when Aaron Rodgers decides, I'm done.
I just don't think in the front office, man, you draft this guy with a number 2 pick and already you're washing your hands with him, just saying that he's done and he's not going to be your franchise quarterback.
You washed your hands with him last year, so why shouldn't they?
I knew he wasn't that good coming out of college. When they said BYU and I was watching him do some of the things he was doing, I say, when is he throwing the football? Because all the highlights I saw, he was running it.
So he obviously was not ready to play. He wasn't ready to play.
What you mean he wasn't ready to play? He can't play.
No, what I'm saying, he wasn't ready to play, obviously, because he didn't perform well when he got an opportunity. He's going to learn from Aaron Rodgers. Any player that has a sense of awareness, you are going to be eyes open, ears listening to everything that he says and he does. Because if you want to reach the pinnacle and you want to be one of these best players in the national, Aaron Rodgers has been there. He's done that. This is a perfect situation for Zach Wilson. This is perfect. Aaron Rodgers plays 2 years. You sit these 2 years. You learn for him. Let's see if you're ready. If you're not ready in 2 years, you're never going to be ready. So for me, if I'm the New York Jets, if I'm Zach Wilson, I say this is actually a perfect storm. We get a quarterback that can hopefully teach our young guy what it is to play in the National Football League, because I believe Jordan Love is going to play well. And I believe Aaron Rodgers would have played a part in that just by Jordan Love being around him all these years watching. And so for the Jets, it can be a perfect situation if Zach Wilson has the talent that they thought when they drafted him with the second pick. But Aaron Rodgers, just decide on what you're going to do. Are you going to have to go on another retreat and go in a dark room, man? Make this decision ASAP.